I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, episode number 81. It's a couple weeks off due to me being away at Comic-Con and other things. And maybe I'll do a video of that later, just letting everyone know how Comic-Con was. I guess it should be soon, but who knows. But there was a lot of news that came out of Comic-Con, and we want to hit a few of those items today. Josh, take it away.
The biggest story in my world is DC and Vertigo's announcement that Neil Gaiman will return to do a Sandman Miniseries. It's got art by J.H. Williams, who's best known for his work on Batwoman, which won an Eisner this year, right? Or was nominated?
Yeah.
It was really good. It should have won if it didn't.
It is really good art.
It's very unique.
It's much better than that old Sandman art.
It was a different time. Things were simpler then. And basically, it's going to be very cool. It's a limited series. It's going to be starting next year in 2013. And chronologically, it's a story that Neil says he's been wanting to tell for some time. Basically, the beginning of Sandman, the basic premise of the book is set up by Dream being captured for 90 years by humans, or 80 some odd years. And this tells the story before that, how he was so depleted, the battle he had come from that left him so wiped that he was able to be captured by mere mortals. And it sounds incredibly cool. Gaiman on Sandman is just classic comics, and I cannot wait for it.
He can. He's been running through the store singing about Neil Gaiman, loving him. I don't know. One of the best panels I went to in San Diego was the Image Comics Experience panel, and they didn't have any guests listed in the description. So I was pleasantly surprised to see a bunch of really cool people on the panel. And not only is Image, dominating 2012 this year with all of their cool stuff that's going on, they apparently are going to dominate 2013 as well, because they announced new series from Derek Robertson, who's the artist on The Boys and Transmetropolitan. He is doing art on a book called Oliver, which is a steampunk version of Oliver Twist, something that's been in the works for a while. Kelly Sue DeConnick and Emma Rios are doing a female bounty hunter western type thing, which looks really cool. Matt Fraction and Howard Chaykin are doing a series called Satellite Sam, which takes place during the golden age of television, which is right in Chaykin's wheelhouse, and it's a murder mystery. Looked really cool. Greg Rucka and Michael Lark.
Woo!
Yes. Rucka and Lark, part of the team behind Gotham Central, among other things, are reuniting for a book called Lazarus, which looks incredibly cool. And James Robinson and Jay Bone are doing a book, and I don't even know what it's called or it's about, but I'm on board because it's James Robinson doing creator-owned work. And Jay Bone, who is known, and Robinson even said this in the panel, Bone is really known, I'm just going to rhyme this entire time, for doing kind of cartoony style work, and this is a serious book, so really curious to see how that plays out. And then to top off the Image section of our news today, Walking Dead number 100 is the highest selling single issue comic since 1997. It sold over 380,000 copies, which is just crazy numbers on that, and it's sold out. So they're doing a second printing. We are sold out. We actually sold our last copy this week, and we're going to get more of the second printing, or we'll have the second printing, and we'll continue to stock second printings for as long as we can, since we've seen a lot of you jump from the collected editions to the single issues. After you've read volume 16, you don't want to wait however many months it's going to be before volume 17 hits, and you're going to the single issues, which is absolutely the way to go. All right, last week, this is actually last week and the week before's top picks, since we had 2 weeks of comics to choose from, and I will lead off with Punk Rock Jesus number 1 by Sean Murphy. This is written and drawn by Murphy, who's known mostly as an artist. He did the art on Joe the Barbarian. He did the art on American Vampire, the European World War II story. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the miniseries.
Survival of the Fittest? Survival
of the Fittest is indeed what it was called. And Punk Rock Jesus is very, very cool. It takes place in the future, and cloning technology has advanced to the point where they're cloning humans, and there's this big company, media company, that somehow gets the rights to clone Jesus from the DNA on the Shroud of Turin. And this is a serious book. And there's a heavy in it. There's this kid who grew up in Ireland and is a member of the Irish Republican Army, who we follow him until he becomes kind of the head of security for this firm. They hold a reality show competition to get a virgin to carry the new savior into this world, and it's just, you don't know what to expect. It's very cool, it's very punk, And we've had a lot of success since I came back from Comic-Con with signed prints by Sean Murphy that we gave away to people who bought the first issue. We're now out of the prints, but we still have a few of the first issue left, and I highly recommend it.
Next up, we got Saga 5 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Saga's still awesome.
Next.
In case you were wondering, yes, Saga's still awesome. Picks up where the last issue left off. It actually, for me, resolved some issues that I had some concern about from the last issue, so that was good. It was different. There are things I did not expect, and wackiness, and it's great. Every issue of this book is a must-read, and I can't tell you anything else without spoiling it, but if you're not reading Saga, you're wrong.
You are. And we still have all the issues in stock, so come get it. Spider-Man #3 by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli. Spider-Man has been on my list for every issue. It's coming out every other week, and this issue is the one that people wanted to see. It's our Peter Parker from the 616 universe, interacting with the Ultimates and doing what basically he needs to do, and that's going to visit Aunt May and Gwen. So in his universe, of course, Gwen has been dead many, many years. The Aunt May in the Ultimate Universe is a lot different than his Aunt May, and it's a cliffhanger ending. So, but this is going to read great as a miniseries. It's a 5-issue miniseries, and whether you're picking up in single issues or the collected edition, it is a must-have for Spider-Man fans.
Captain Marvel #1 by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Dexter Soy. I don't know anything about Miss Marvel. All I know about Miss Marvel's background comes from Rogue in the X-Men.
And
she
the
stole her
Avengers.
powers. Yeah.
You've been reading Avengers for a few years.
I have, but they don't ever really talk about her. She's like there and then she hits somebody or absorbs some energy or something. But I loved this book. This follows
Carol.
I'm drawing a blank. Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers.
As she kind of makes a decision to subsume the mantle of Captain Marvel.
Or the mammal.
Or the mammal. Whatever she subsumes, it's there. It's really, really good. I don't care at all about Carol Danvers, so this book made me care. It's very cool. It's got a great sense of flow and history. You see her interacting with some female pioneers in aviation who she kind of admires and who are associates of hers. And actually some of my favorite scenes in the book are Carol and Steve, Captain America, interacting. She gives him crap because she's a colonel and she outranks him. She can tell him what to do. And, there's fun punching and beating up on the Absorbing Man. And then there's also cool, quiet moments, about Carol and her life, and it's very much it was a very uplifting book. It kind of charged me to want to go and do something. It was just crescendos to this great ending. And
what did it make you want to do?
It made me want to be the first female in space, but I was too late and too man.
And too male.
But Captain Marvel #1 is great. It's a great pickup. You don't have to know anything about the characters. It's easy to follow, and I think it's going to set up some stuff in the coming years as Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers takes the main stage in the Marvel U.
And you can tell this is a character that Kelly Sue DeConnick really loves. And I listened to a podcast with her not too long ago about the research she did on these the female pilots that were in the astronaut program.
Gemini 13?
The Gemini
or
program,
Apollo
maybe? Not Apollo 13. Anyway, but she was all fired up about these women who were overlooked and basically were highly qualified or more qualified than their male counterparts to be in the space program. And at the time, because of the times we were living in, it was just, it was bad for them that they were females at that time. But she's obviously very enthusiastic about the material, and it shows in the issue.
Absolutely. Also new this week, not strictly new, but we've got the Stuff of Legend Omnibus. This collects the first 2 volumes of Stuff of Legend. There are 3 volumes out. We have all 3 in stock. This is an amazing book. I kind of put off getting to it because I'm stupid. But I picked up the Omnibus, checked it out, and it's super great. It's sort of a Toy Story in a more darker, almost like Tim Burton-esque universe. You've got it's the story of a kid who gets kidnapped by the Boogeyman. Yes, the Boogeyman, the darkness in the closet. And his toys have to go into this dark realm and try and save him. And it's so wonderful. I mean, the characters are a teddy bear and a soldier and a jack-in-the-box and a ducky, but they're very real. They're drawn 3-dimensionally. They have needs and wants and secrets, and it's so great. If you look at the back cover of this, it's got quotes from Gail Simone and Mark Waid and people who know about writing just singing its praises. So if you like stuff like Beasts of Burden or anything that's good, I'm trying to think of another comparison. Mouse Guard.
I mean,
yeah.
And it really is appropriate for, I mean, I wouldn't say, under 8, but, probably the 10 and up range could read it and appreciate it as much as adults can.
Yeah, definitely an all ages great book.
All right, this week's best bets. Man, lots of collected editions this week, including, finally, Daredevil by Mark Waid, Volume 1 in softcover. Now, we had it in hardcover for a couple of weeks, and then Marvel sold out and didn't make any more. So we've gone a very long time without having a collected edition of Daredevil that we can sell to you fine folks every time we sing the praises of Daredevil. So, you need to buy this. Everyone that reads comics, you need to buy this. Daredevil won the Eisner for Best Single Issue at the Eisner Awards at San Diego, and it was that single issue that I loved when I read it, the blind kids going on the field trip in the snow. Mark Waid won Best Writer at the Eisners, so, and the Eisners, for those of you that don't know, are voted on by comics industry professionals. That includes writers, artists, publishers, retailers. So we know what we're talking about here. Really, pick it up. You want to do the next one?
I can. Manhattan Projects number 5. This continues the run of Jonathan Hickman's awesome series, and I haven't read it yet because it's not out till next week, or this week, if you're watching the video now, but I promise you it's going to be awesome, and it could be anything. Every issue's been different than the last. Every issue's been good, exciting, drawing you into this world of the past, and it's so good.
Much like Saga, Manhattan Projects is one of the most consistently satisfying reads out there.
Absolutely.
The Underwater Welder original graphic novel comes out this week, and this is written and drawn by Jeff Lemire, who does Animal Man and Sweet Tooth and Justice League Dark, and
he was on Frankenstein for the first
Agent of
arc.
Shade, but he's buddy with Scott Snyder and some other folks, and both Snyder and Damon Lindelof, who's one of the co-creators of Lost and one of the writers of the Star Trek movies and Prometheus. They both have some nice blurbs on the back about this book, and we actually had a chance to read an advance copy, and it's billed as, you know, the best Twilight Zone episode that's never been filmed, and it's definitely got that Twilight Zone vibe. So if you're a fan of Lemire's work on Animal Man, if you want to read just some good indie stuff that's a self-contained story, you absolutely want to check out Underwater Welder.
And also new this week, we've got Amazing Spider-Man 690 continuing the Lizard story.
That's all we know right
That's
now.
all
And we
we
know
know.
it's going to be awesome. Again, Dan Slott on Spider-Man is gold, baby. It is just awesome. And finally, Before Watchmen, The Comedian number 2 comes out. You may recall that we both thoroughly enjoyed Before Watchmen, The Comedian issue number 1, where it shows that he has this history with the Kennedys. And yeah, I got to tell you, I started watching Watchmen before I went to San Diego, and it did. There was that scene where the comedian kills Kennedy, and that doesn't happen so much in this comic. So I'm not sure what Brian Azzarello is doing, but maybe it's explained in this issue. Regardless, it's fun seeing the comedian interact with the Kennedys and the people from the '60s and all that fun stuff. So, looking forward to that as well.
A few weeks ago in Lima, we had the Northwest Ohio Film Festival, which was super awesome. We got to meet a lot of cool people, and one of them made a movie, and Mark talked to him about it. So here you go.
I'm Mark with Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio, and with me today is Gabriel Diani, who is the writer and star of the independent film The Selling, which recently played here in Lima at the Northwest Ohio Independent Film Festival. It was actually the midnight screening. It took place on the parking garage roof, which those of you that aren't from Lima will think that sounds kind of weird, but it's a cool place to watch a movie or see a concert late at night. And we had a lot of fun with The Selling. So, Gabriel, why don't you tell us what The Selling is about?
I would love to. It's about a real estate agent who's trying to sell a haunted house. It's a comedy, horror film, sort of in the lines of Ghostbusters or Shaun of the Dead. We're running a Kickstarter campaign right now to raise funds for a limited theatrical run, which can really help to sort of get the word out for our DVD, VOD release. With small films like this, that's really important to try to, you know, spread the word and get the word out. We've got Barry Bostwick from the Rocky Horror Picture Show in Spin City is in the film. Simon Helberg from The Big Bang Theory makes an appearance. Harry Groener, the mayor of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, pops in there. So like Josh said, all the mayors you need are in our movie. And also Janet Varney, who's the voice of Korra on The Legend of Korra, the new anime show, is in the film as well, and I think you might like it.
Absolutely. Comic book fans, you will love this one. It's a cool genre piece. It's funny. It's got great acting. Gabriel's the star. And it just was a lot of fun, and you should definitely check out the Kickstarter campaign. You know we love independent comics here at Alter Ego, so let's support an independent film as well and check out that Kickstarter campaign.
Thanks, guys. I want to come back here and film a movie.
So there may be a casting call at some point. We'll keep you posted. So Gabriel's movie, The Selling, is now up on Kickstarter for a theatrical release, and it was a very cool movie. We both saw it. We both liked it. So if you want to support that, getting a theatrical release, you can go to Kickstarter.com and do a search for The Selling, or we'll put the URL up on the screen so you can check that out. That'll do it for another week. We appreciate, as always, you checking us out. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and you'll find that information at the end of the show. And, of course, leave us your questions and comments, and we'll be happy to get to them for you. Thanks for watching. Keep reading.